had my giant glasses here to wear, but I don't know where I put them.
Where are they? You can't find them?
I think they're in the kitchen now.
I want to see your giant glasses.
You see them? They're so
I know,
giant.
but I want them on for a whole video recording of
Can I quickly grab them?
Yes, please. Oh. Great.
I'm not going to wear them for the whole podcast.
I love that we're just thinking about releasing videos on YouTube and you're like, let me get my giant glasses.
Let me get my fake glasses that I don't need, but that are blue light.
Yep.
They're so giant.
Oh, they're great, aren't they?
They're so big. And they have quite the odour to them. I'm not...
What do you mean the odour?
They smell like chlorine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Have they been...
I like them.
Salt. You know what they smell like?
Yep.
Disgusting seashells that you try and clean.
I love them.
I have to remove them. They're too...
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. I need to buy blue light ones that are not so large and aggressive.
Do you need blue light ones at all? Do you think it's good for you?
I did meet someone, I think I told you I met someone who told me that blue light glasses are a bit bullshitty.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're true or not.
I don't think that's true because I know somebody that has epilepsy where the neurologist said it would be a great idea for you to have the blue screening. What are they called? Blue light.
Blue light?
Yeah.
Blue light.
For when you're using screens. And so
They don't appear to be assisting me now that they're back on my face.
They're assisting you in many, many ways.
Like ridiculous, like I'm a fly.
Give it a go. Go on. See if you can get through.
Both my children, when I've been wearing them sitting on the couch just to see if anyone would say anything, have literally frozen and they're like, what is on your face? I'm like, my new glasses.
Yeah, keep them.
Yeah, they're so aggressively light.
They're great.
I'll just do that one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right.
Good. Now you've got beach vibes.
I do have beach vibes.
Yeah. Good morning, Seona.
Good morning, Sally.
How you going?
I'm good.
Good.
And I want to say that today is a good episode because I'm actually after some information on how to form habits myself.
Are you?
As someone who, my husband said to me the other day, like we've been doing some cleaning around the house and he took some stuff to the tip.
Yep.
And I was like, what are you taking? He's like, there's heaps of stuff out the back. He's like, it is your graveyard of shit that you bought and don't use.
No.
I'm like, what? He's like, it's the graveyard of the things that you're going to use regularly. Like my ice bath that I imagined would form part of my, would be a habit that I'd wake up every morning, Sally.
Oh my God.
I would just have a quick dip in the inflatable ice bath. And I would get out refreshed and ready to start my day. Twice did that happen. Oh. And it was not a quick dip. It was a performance. My husband said it was it took hours. I talked about it. There was screaming. Yeah. I had to build like a little, like it was really high.
So you had to build like a structure, some scaffolding.
I had to build some scaffolding to get in. I forgot that I had to wear bathers. I couldn't find any. It was just a whole thing. And then by the time I got in, it was in the sun. All the ice had melted. So it was actually kind of more warm.
It wouldn't have been warm. It would have been a very cold, but wouldn't have felt satisfying.
No, it wasn't satisfying in the way that you get red when I've watched like people doing the Wim Hof and they're like
disgusting
breathing. Anyway, so I've turned up to this podcast today to get some tips from you.
Brilliant. Well, I've got a friend actually. Her name's Seona. She's a great psychologist, so she'll be able to inform you today in this podcast episode.
Oh, I'm thrilled to meet her.
And I'll help her too, but we'll be able to encourage you to form some great habits. Thank you for that example, though. That's wonderful. So we're opening the show basically by saying we've all had great intentions.
Oh, haven't we?
At times during our lives. Oh, haven't we? Not more so than that. That's a brilliant example.
Oh, and there's many more.
Can you on-sell? I mean, now we're getting into details that we probably the listeners don't need, but can you on-sell the ice bath?
Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start up some sort of bidding situation for our listeners. And if anyone wants that, I've also got this great machine that you stand on and it vibrates.
Oh,
and
yes.
I bought it because it said you stood on it. You stood on it for 10 minutes. It was like doing an hour run.
Oh my
God.
Is that the one that just basically jiggles you? Jiggles all the flesh, all the fat, all the muscles?
It does. It just jiggles you.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so
it's
the
not,
theory is that your core muscles kind of act against it, or what's the theory that
well,
says
my
that this
kids
is a
love it because
workout?
they stand on it and they go, and talk. But no, yeah, so it's not an hour run.
Okay.
It's just a
So,
massive machine in the corner of my room.
so the habits that we are talking about will not include an ice bath, forming a habit for an ice bath, or a, what do we call it? The jiggle machine?
The
What's this
jiggle
called?
machine. Yeah.
Right.
No, it will
So we
not.
probably won't touch on those as great examples of what we might encourage our
No,
listeners
we will
to
not.
absorb into their lives and get that behavior happening
Yes.
in a regular, regimented way so that they become habits. Those things are not examples today.
I'm really glad that you brought clarity there, Sally.
I'm really pleased that you brought those examples. They are gold. So if we broaden out to other things
yes.
that people often talk about, we talk about with our clients, society rams down our throat. Yes. We all talk about with each other, the things that we should be doing, the things that we should be getting into routine. There are so many. So let's name some. What are the ones that we can think of that if we just basically loosely categorize this as what are things that we should be getting into habits in our lives? Seona?
Well, I mean, there's the eating well. What about the staying hydrated and drink 2 to 3 liters a day or whatever it is?
Yep. Make sure you get enough sleep. So sleep hygiene, routine of that is very important. Yep. And all the exercise.
Oh, I was just about to say all the exercise. Get your vitamin D, Sally. Be outside for a certain amount of time a day if the sun is out.
Vitamin D. Or if not outside with the sun, you know, all the bottles of all of the tablets of all of the supplements.
Yes,
you should be doing all of those.
Yep. Better be practicing gratitude.
You better.
You better be grateful.
Maybe before and after you meditate, because you should be doing that every day.
Yeah, and journaling at the same time.
What about managing your stress? That's something that we all need to get on top of.
Classic. Just manage your stress, Sally.
Just manage it better.
And limit your screen time, right? And don't you dare doom scroll.
You know that I'm a little bit of a closet lover of the Kardashians. I know I shouldn't admit it. But there's a funny part of the intro, I think, for this new season where one of them accuses the other one of doom scrolling. And then you see the one that's been accused going through and she's like, I'm not doom scrolling. I'm like, there's shoes, there's nails, there's nothing bad here.
Nothing doom-like.
So funny. What else? You should connect with others.
Oh, yes.
Which you should. Yes. But like these are things that we are told we need to make these habits. They should be routine.
Like you should be looking at your social connectedness, making sure that you're seeing friends, making sure you're prioritizing partner, children, all of those things. Yeah.
Yes. Prioritize your aging parents. Yeah. You should be reading more.
Oh, don't. I feel that one. Yeah. You should read more.
Oh, you should be reading more.
Take care of your body, take care of your face, take care of your skin. Use a skincare regime. Yes. Wear sunscreen.
Wear sunscreen.
Do you remember that song that was
I loved that song.
That song.
Yep.
I don't even know what it's called, but it says something, remember to wear sunscreen.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I actually think that's the title of it anyway.
Great, yeah.
No one knows what we're talking about here.
No, they do. If they were around in the 90s, they remember that song.
Yes.
Because it was to the backing track of a song that was very familiar to everyone, and then it came in with a voice. It had something to do with Baz Luhrmann, but it might not have.
Oh, Baz Luhrmann does not ring a bell. My husband was a social worker and he used to play it to young kids all the time. I'm like,
stop.
You should drink less.
Yeah.
Oh, you should drink less alcohol. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep. Yeah, because drink more water, drink less alcohol.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. You should floss the teeth, and the classic sign in the dentist office, only the ones you want to keep.
Oh, yes.
We should all be flossing. Oh, man.
I don't like hearing about flossing.
Have you noticed that dentists now ask you every time you go to the dentist if you're flossing? I don't know. Maybe they've always.
Maybe they've always.
Talk about you going to the dentist?
We don't know, but it's on my list. That should be on the list. You must go to the dentist every 6 months.
You must, actually. That's a thing.
Shh.
What about meal planning? We should be doing more meal planning, because if you can get that in as a habit, then all right. We've
covered a lot. There's so many more.
Oh, and then of course, amongst doing all of these things, you should also make sure that you stop and smell the roses.
Oh, that one really pisses me off. Like, do everything, but make sure that you're living slowly and stopping and smelling the roses.
Yes, and don't do everything and say no to everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I think we've summarized most of the episodes of our podcast.
I know, we really have.
Touching on all of the things that are important. Yes. But we wanted to start the episode this way to demonstrate to everyone that, we can't do everything, and we are not here to say that people with chronic health conditions should step up more and should be doing more.
No,
but we really today, we want to point out to people that if you can identify a couple of things that you value, that you think are important to have in your life as part of your routine, then maybe it's a good idea to come with us on this journey today and try to figure out, how do I turn some of these prioritized behaviors into habits?
Yes.
So that, you know, we turn those behaviors that we do, we want them to be more regular. We know that there are health benefits. How do we turn them into habits so that we don't even have to think about them?
Yeah, brilliant. And you summed that up really well. And because if you live with a chronic health condition, as most people who tune into this do, or just in life in general, motivation's unreliable. We cannot always rely on motivation. I've got a good quote that I'm going to bring up later about motivation.
Great.
But some days you've got the energy, you've got the focus, and others you don't.
That's right, exactly. And so that's when the habits can come in. So when a behavior becomes automatic, like taking medications, for example, or brushing your teeth, and for some people checking their diary, and we'll get onto that later too. It just uses far less mental energy because you don't have to think about why or when to do it. It just happens if it's a habit.
Yeah, exactly. And there's lots of psychology behind that, because habits shift a behavior from that thinking part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, to the more automatic areas. And that frees up mental space for other things, for us to do other things.
Exactly. And so that predictability, if we just have things as part of our routine, the habits, we just do them automatically, that predictability gives us back a little bit of a sense of control, especially when our health feels unpredictable. We can just step back into the things that are habits. We don't have to think about them, and they can become small, consistent habits that reduce that anxiety and also boost our confidence. Because if we're having a rough time with our health during a patch, we're still doing some of the things that we are doing when we're feeling better. So it keeps us feeling a bit more human.
It does. And this is the part I love, that every time you stick to a habit, or a habit is embedded, brain releases a bit of dopamine. So you get that hit, you get that reward. And we've talked about that real smug feeling before when you go to the gym or you do something.
Yeah, not before you go, but after.
No, but after. So it's that little bit that reinforces the behavior, and that kicks in with motivation. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah.
So back to the reason for the whole thing today. Motivation starts you off in these behaviors, but good habits keep you going. So we want to encourage everyone we work with and everyone listening today on the podcast to develop all the good habits. Less need for willpower if you're engaged in habitual health promoting behaviors.
Ooh. Yeah. Well said, Sally.
Yeah. And we all know it.
Yeah, we do know it.
We give no thought. I'd like to think that most of us give no thought to brushing our teeth. There is no need for willpower to brush your teeth because it just happens. It's so entrenched. Not everyone. I do know a few people that.
Well, I do too, but I sat down here before and I was like, something doesn't feel right. I hadn't brushed my teeth, so I had to go brush my teeth and come back.
Yeah.
But let's start by defining what is an act. What is a habit?
Yes.
So a habit is defined as a behavior that is repeated. In a stable context until it becomes automatic, just like what you were saying before, but until it becomes like brushing our teeth. So that's what a habit is.
Yes.
Repeated behavior.
And what's the saying? Like you do something every day and then it turns into a habit in a few weeks or something?
I don't know if there's a saying. I think there's a general consensus that it takes a couple of weeks to form a habit.
Right,
but
there you go.
Yeah, but
a couple of weeks.
Maybe there is. Maybe there is an actual saying. I don't know.
I think there is, but there is some research that we found in healthcare, the journal called Healthcare in 2024, actually. And it's called Time to Form a Habit, a systematic review and meta-analysis of health behaviour habit formation and its determinants. And it was done out of the University of South Australia. And they've said, look, to be honest, in this systematic review, some habits start to form in and around 2 months, but the research shows that it can take just a few days or it can take up to a year to really embed those health-related behaviours into habits. So we might say, oh, it takes a couple of weeks or whatever the saying is, but actually it's dependent on so many different things, like the individual involved, the habit they're trying to form, and the context, their environment.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would imagine if it's something that's done more frequently, like it's something you do once or twice a day, it's probably going to be easier to form that more quickly, because it's the amount of times that you've been able to repeat it. Whereas if it's something that's done regularly once a month, you could see that that could take a longer amount of time.
Once a month is a very hard thing to embed.
Yes. Yeah.
We've all been there. Even like I think of things like giving the dog the like
like a
heartworm
worming.
tablet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's once a month.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it'd be hard, but man, I need alarms all over my calendar to make sure I remember that.
Yeah. I think a really key point is that habit formation isn't just about willpower.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to clients about how often we wait for motivation to sort of like knock on the door and be like, I'm here, I'm ready, like, let's go.
Yeah.
But actually, in order to feel ready and inspired, that like, or confident enough to start, it often doesn't work like that. The research consistently shows that it works the other way around. Action actually comes first.
Yes, that's
We
right.
have to actually do the thing, even if we take a small step, if it's a short walk, if it's opening the laptop, whatever it is.
Yes.
But that's where our brain releases dopamine. And so that hit then reinforces the behavior and it makes it more likely that we'll do it again. And eventually this forms habit. So I say this so often, the formula isn't motivation, action, habit.
Yes.
It's actually action, dopamine, when we do the action, motivation, and then habit.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we just wait before we take that first step, or we wait for the motivation, or we, oh, well, one day I'll do it when I feel like it. One day I'll do it when I really want to. But
it's
actually,
a classic joining the gym. I'll join the gym or I'll go when, I feel a bit more fit.
No, just go.
Yeah, just go.
Just go, because then the habit will start to form.
Correct.
Yeah, I know so much. Okay.
Yes.
And so let's touch on the fact that for people with chronic illnesses, we need to, bring that to this population as well.
Yeah.
That habits become extra valuable, of course, because our energy, symptoms, the unpredictability that can really limit what we do sometimes.
Yes.
But if something becomes a habit, as we've said, it uses less mental and physical energy. So wouldn't it be lovely if we could, line up this list of things that we really want to get entrenched in our day-to-day behaviors, and we just don't want to use willpower at all for any of them. We just want them to be automated.
Yeah.
We have that lovely experience where you just get up and you do what it is that you intellectually want to do. It becomes our baseline. It doesn't become extra. You don't have to have that extra willpower, the extra energy to do it. It's just part of the daily routine.
Correct. Yeah. It's that automated part.
Very beneficial for people with chronic health conditions, really just for anybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think we're going to talk about habit creation in a couple of different areas and touch on the main areas, because we thought that might be helpful today.
Yeah.
So let's talk about habit creation in the sort of exercise and movement, because we know that this is very important for humans, but if you live with a chronic health condition, you kind of got to be paying some attention here. And we do want some habits in this area.
We do. We need habits in this area because movement matters.
It does.
So exercise is boring, like in terms of talking about it. And look, maybe people are wanting to switch to a different channel right now. But if we just touch on it, it's exercise appropriately paced for each individual person.
Correct.
Really does help everybody with chronic health conditions. And there was a review done called Physical Activity, Exercise and Chronic Diseases, a brief review. And you can find that through Science Direct. And that showed that physical activity reduces chronic disease risks and supports health overall.
Yes.
Oh, not rocket science.
Not rocket science. No, we knew this.
We know it. We know it.
So let's talk about some practical tips, because exercise ain't easy to form into a habit.
That's right.
But one of the ones that I really love is if you pair movement or any sort of exercise with a cue. So maybe after you've had your morning coffee, that's when you go for a 5-minute walk, or that's where you do some, a yoga class, or that's where you do something, right?
Pairing it is important. I did this brilliantly while I was pregnant, and must admit it kind of dropped off after that. But when I was pregnant, I remember I would pair doing squats with brushing my teeth.
That's so funny.
I know, because I must have just stuck in my head that if you wanted to have, the birth that you really wanted, you want to be able to be in lots of different positions with your body. And so you will need strong legs in order to birth that baby in a way that you want to.
Like you're in the rice field squatting down, birthing the baby. I love it. Brilliant.
So I would do that when I brushed my teeth. And also I remember after birth, and maybe during pregnancy, I can't remember, where every time I got to red lights at traffic lights, I would do pelvic floor exercises.
Oh, you're good.
I have not done them for a while. I should really. And KJ reminded me.
Oh, yes.
Our guest on the podcast recently reminded me, the importance of pelvic floor exercise. But it was all about, I'm demonstrating the importance of pairing it with something. So when I saw traffic lights, I would go into pelvic floor exercises.
Yes.
If I was brushing my teeth, I would go into squats.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Should get
That's
back
really
onto that
good.
for both of those things.
Yes.
Actually. Yeah.
I don't pair exercise with anything, but I definitely pair it. And I'm going to talk, I think, maybe about medication later, but I pair like my coffee with taking medication or supplements.
Yep, great.
Yeah.
What about the keeping it small? So 5 minutes beats nothing is the kind of 5 minutes of something beats nothing. And I'm remembering the advertising campaign that I believe was run by an insurance company. I think they're called AIA Insurance Company. They were so clever, but it took my brain a sec to understand what they were doing. But it was that advertising campaign that featured Ash Barty and Stephanie Gilmore, who was a surfing champion who I didn't know I had to look at. But they challenged the all or nothing approach to health and well-being in their campaign because they promoted this idea that small, consistent actions are better than aiming for perfection and trying to do everything all at once. So their campaign was, instead of all or nothing mentality, they promoted an all or something. Like all or something, like something is better than nothing.
Totally. And I have a lot of clients I work with who are very like black and white in the it's all or nothing. And I'm like, there's something.
So much in between.
Yeah, do the something. So I love the do the something.
It was very clever campaign. All or something is better than nothing.
Yes.
Because we all fall for it.
We do.
If I don't go to the gym today, well, then there is zero exercise happening. Well, no,
correct.
That's actually not true.
If I've eaten the Tim Tam, I've ruined everything to do with my diet.
I ate 2 the other day.
Oh, I don't like a Tim Tam.
Back to back.
Oh.
I'm not a huge fan of classic Tim Tam, but these are the ones with the chewy caramel in the middle.
Oh
and
my
chewy
gosh,
caramel get me every time. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
I think it's really important when we talk about the movement exercise space that we expect fluctuations when we live with a chronic health condition.
Good.
There will be a day when you feel like you're raring to go and you've got a bit more energy, but then there'll be a day where you do feel quite symptomatic and you're exhausted. And so you want to keep the habit going by doing something small, but change it, like pare it back. It does not have to be the same thing.
It doesn't. And we've all worked with clients who have mastered this. And so I am reminded of a few people that, an example might be that they really, really wanted to use their rowing machine to exercise every day, but they had massive changes in their fatigue and their ability to use their muscles every day. It just changed on the daily. So she would sit on her rowing machine every day, but then would decide when she was sitting on it whether she would start the rowing action or whether she wouldn't. And it was so fantastic because she could go to bed every night knowing that she had done all she could. Even if she did not do any rowing, she had sat there and offered herself the opportunity.
I like it.
It was really good.
That's really good. I did a similar version in COVID. Like I stopped going to the gym. I mean, gyms were closed. Then when they came back, I'm like, who could be bothered? I made a little deal with myself that I just had to drive there. If I went in or not, didn't matter. And actually once I did just drive there. And then I went and got a coffee, drive through McDonald's. But believe it or not, it gave me enough of a dopamine hit that I'd gotten up, put my runners on and gone to the gym. Technically, I did go.
Yes,
and then got myself a coffee. At least it wasn't like a McMuffin. And then I went home and then I did start returning. It was my slow burn.
Wonderful.
Right? Yeah.
Wonderful. I know that sometimes that can work really well with me if I'm like, I can't be bothered going out for a walk. But if I just say, well, I'm just going to put my sneakers on.
Yeah.
And then if I've got my sneakers on, then, all right. And if you just open the front door,
that's right. It's those small steps. Yeah.
What about diet and nutrition? Should we touch on this?
Yeah, let's touch on that because it's huge.
Well, it's not a shock to any of our listeners that there was a recent study published in the journal Nutrients, Why Diet Matters, the effects of healthy lifestyle on chronic diseases, diet, sleep and exercise, which emphasised that healthy diet, regular exercise and adequate sleep are foundational for chronic disease management.
Oh, no, surprise.
Interesting. So maybe we should form some great habits around diet.
It's such a tricky one in the chronic health space because, well, for many reasons, but I think changing diet, no matter whether that's following something that's quite structured or just something small, can actually feel really overwhelming for lots of people.
Yes.
So habit theory suggests that starting small
Yep.
and repeated behaviors in stable contexts is more sustainable. And we know that.
Yeah.
We want to start with something really small. So that can be picking one tiny change.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Doing something really small.
Yes.
It might be preparing a meal.
Yep.
So rather than like I've got my lunch prepared today.
Oh yeah, good on you.
When I get hangry,
Yes.
hangry, I just start eating all the other things while I'm preparing because
Oh
I'm in,
yes.
that's what I do. I'm eating all
Yes.
they're usually like things I can grab like crackers and things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No
Nutritional value.
Thank you.
Yes,
No
that's
nutritional
right.
value. Yeah.
So it's about thinking about small things as a
Yeah.
good strategy to start. So for me, it might be, right, well, I sit down and have a cup of tea at the end of the night. I would just have one chocolate rather than bringing the whole box to the couch.
Is it a loco love chocolate?
Of course it is. Or more serious, on a more serious note, although that is quite serious, I do value staying hydrated. So I've got into a fantastic habit of just always making sure, look, I'm demonstrating that I have a full glass of water next to me while I work. And so I will have at least one glass of water every 1 to 2 hours.
Okay, that's
during
good.
the day. Yeah. It's just a good habit. It always has to be there. Sometimes I will bring two. Yeah.
Writing that
Glasses.
down.
Yeah.
Great. That's a good one. And I touched on this before, but we do have to note that you may be, like if you live with a chronic health condition, you may be very susceptible to the many specific diets that are out there that are thrown at you, like do this and follow this.
Yep.
And for people who feel very strongly about adopting a specific diet, I still very much encourage them to start small.
Yes.
You don't have to go from the way that you were eating one day to adopting this entire change.
I know.
You still want to start small and build up. Like give yourself your best shot at creating.
The temptation is real though, because if you've made a decision to just completely overthrow your diet and I'm going to be the healthiest me I can be in a month from now.
Yeah, please.
You want to throw all the sugar out of the cupboard.
Who am I? Like I watched the Minimalist show and then threw like half my contents of the house out. So I am that person. Like who am I to judge?
I'm doing it now.
I am doing it and my whole life is changing immediately. Yep. So I acknowledge and I feel for these people. I'm also one of those, but we remind ourselves that we start very small incremental changes. Yes.
So that's actually a nice segue into looking at habits around our psychological health and our self-care habits.
Yes.
Yeah. And this matters a lot for every human, but also if you're living with a chronic health condition, it often brings an extra psychological load to our lives. So whether that's from pain or fatigue, the unpredictability of it.
Yep.
So habit creation for self-care can really help reduce that cognitive burden and will support our mental health.
Yes.
You know, it's key. Also around the cognition side of chronic health conditions, I am often talking to people about let's set up some of those really great habits to support memory. Now, let's just do them now because then we don't know what's coming in the future, but we know that if we can form some great habits, say, for example, checking our diary every night to have a look at the next day's appointments, then that's a great habit to form so that in 20 years from now, if we're a little bit more scattered in our thinking and we might start forgetting things, we've still got that kind of fail-safe routine.
Yeah, and that's brilliant because as we age, our cognition does change. So we really are setting ourselves up to succeed.
Yeah.
And to just have other things that we rely on because, you know, our brains do a lot of work and we do need help. And depending on the amount of stresses in our life, they're really good strategies to have in place because if you're really stressed and there's lots going on, your cognition is not going to be working in the same way that it usually does. And that goes for every human being.
It does. It does.
Yeah. So having some nice habits to assist you is really good. So that was it's a good point.
And if we come out of the cognitive side of it, I guess, and more into the psychological, emotional health, social health side, what kind of little like practical tips could we recommend?
There's so many, but I really we were laughing before about gratitude, but I think that that's a pretty easy one that you can add in. You don't necessarily have to journal at night or during the day, but it might be that, you know, you pair it with something like we talk about brushing your teeth. While you're brushing your teeth, you might be noticing one thing that you're grateful for. You might be doing a bit of a check-in about what happened the day before or something that you're looking forward to. Also a really great psychological strategy.
Correct. I'm smiling because I'm like, yes, while you do your squats, you can also be grateful.
Oh
like when
my
you're brushing your teeth.
Brushing your teeth, squatting.
You do not have to pair everything to the teeth. brushing.
Yes.
But certainly it is one of those things that's so reliable because you're doing it twice a day.
Absolutely.
In terms of gratitude, I pair mine with going to bed. So when I'm actually just closing my eyes and rolling over is when I will have that kind of moment of just a check-in with things that are pleasant to think about before I go to sleep.
Yes.
Mostly that's around what I'm grateful for.
Yes, I do
and I try to
mine.
switch my head into that rather than the things I'm worried about.
Yeah, which is lovely. That's setting you up for a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I do mine in the morning. Like, so once I've had like my medication, whatever, with my coffee, I sit down, I drink my coffee by myself. So everyone's usually gone. And that's when that's when I reflect the best.
Yeah,
and often part of that is me being like, oh, I'm so like happy about this, or I'm looking forward to this, or I'm feeling really, I do a lot of that.
Yes.
So it's more like I'm more focusing on the things that I'm feeling really grateful for and happy and excited about.
Good. In those moments of calm. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
What about, you can always pair, obviously, activities with other health promoting activities. So you go to the physio, they give you all the exercises. You say, oh, it's going to be so easy to do these exercises. They're only 2 minutes a day, and then nobody remembers to do them, or we can't be bothered, or we'll do them later because they're so easy to do and it's so hard. So pairing those activities sometimes with another similar activity. So for me, look, I've got my TheraBand here. I don't know if that's what it's called. But I use this with my arm, my shoulder, don't get me started, exercises straight after my other exercise, which is walking the dog. So I'll come home and I will do those so that I'm pairing them together. So
A plus, Sally.
Thank you.
A plus, fine. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
But also we should be encouraging people to check in with themselves about their self-talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes I often encourage people to have a think as soon as they wake up. What is the first statement that runs through their head when they first wake up? And so to check the tone, like how are you talking to yourself as soon as your eyes are opening?
Yes. And that can also set the tone for the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
I think there's actually a really lovely window when you wake up before you get out of bed, unless you're someone who launches out.
Yes.
You may be one of those people. No judgment. But for those people who are not, you might get a sneaky 5-10 minutes where there's actually some cognitive work that can be done where you can sit and you can think.
And what do most people do now? They just go straight to their phone.
I know.
You wake up and you're like adjusting your eyes while you look at the phone, but maybe take a couple of minutes either before doing that or after you put the phone down, before you get out of bed, to just check in with yourself.
So, because today's a quick episode, we're just wrapping it all up.
Yep.
Forming habits takes time.
Yes.
There's no specific timeline for it. We're starting small.
Yep.
We've talked about some little strategies, pairing things together, but putting it all together, we're remembering that often it's about the action first.
Yep.
Getting a bit of dopamine.
Yes.
The motivation kicking in, and then it forming habit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that has to be on repeat several times, if not more, and hopefully at a pretty high frequency.
Yes.
Get it into a habit so that you do not require willpower
at
some point to get that habit.
Exactly. It becomes automatic. And the last thing I do quickly want to say is that you want to be kind to the fluctuations of living life as a human, as well as living with a chronic health condition.
Yep.
Sometimes days will be easier than others.
Yes.
So go with that. Right?
Go with that. And remember that on those days that are harder, doing the tiniest something is better than doing the nothing. But even acknowledging that this is still part of my habit, this is still part of my routine, but I have to be kind to myself today and not do the full, insert health promoting behavior here today, but I'll do something, even just acknowledging.
Yes. Lovely.
Oh, habits.
Habits.
So good for us.
Well, our habit for the podcast is talking about what we're looking forward to.
That was lovely.
Thank you. Sally, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, I'm so looking forward to, I've got a guy coming over on Friday afternoon to give us a quote for some backyard work, and it's been so hard to find somebody that will be willing to give us a quote.
You've got a guy coming over.
We've got a guy.
Oh, fun.
And he's like the most communicative tradie I've ever dealt with, and he puts in the same number of exclamation points as his text messages that I do. So I'm
you're
like
matching in
I know.
Exclamation marks. He's your person.
I really hope he turns up.
I hope he turns up and he does the work. One of my hobbies that I don't often talk about is watching. Is watching people that I've hired do the work. It's wildly satisfying. And T said it's really disrespectful when I pull out. I just like to pull out a chair and watch. And T's like, it's creepy. I mean, sometimes I do it like where they can't see, but I love it. Is that weird?
Do they ever turn around and say, can I help you with something? Or
well,
are you
sitting there with my cup
behind
of tea?
them?
Well, not behind them, but somewhere in which I can watch the transformation.
See what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I can see that respectfully. Anyway, what are you looking forward to?
I'm going to the beach for the weekend.
Oh, that's nice.
Kids are going with their cousins, going with my sister and brother-in-law. Fun.
Lovely. Is it good weather? We don't know.
I actually don't know if it's
It'll be
weather.
a mix, won't it? Because it's disgustingly bizarre at the moment.
But I'm wanting to get the kids wetsuits, and I'm thinking, do I get them coloured ones so they don't look like they could be eaten by sharks? Anyway, whatever. This is me problem.
That's a good idea. Put some colour into it.
But
just remember
that they grow out attractive.
To sharks.
Well, to other things, like, yes, to sharks because they catch their attention. Anyway, whatever.
I don't think so. I think the darker, like the more they look like a seal, the less we want that. So put some high-vis fluoro pink or green on there.
This is where.
But remember, they grow out of them so fast. So don't spend all the dollars. Just get the Kmart, Target. They'll have some good ones.
It is a good point. All right. Okay. Thank you, Sally.
All right. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.